The laws of creation. Man must know that he is part of creation. All life forms and energies are part of the creation. Even the gods who lived on earth many years ago, and attained the image of a creator, are subject to creation, as they are also a part of creation. The word God was first used on earth 50,000 years ago, when the Ishwish Pelegon came here, and ruled. He was a titan of large size and had mastered the spiritual powers. The local humans of that time saw him as a creator by virtue of his knowledge and abilities. He could perform what seemed to be miracles of creation. He actually did not create, but manipulated energies, by using his vast knowledge of the spiritual laws. The word Ishwish, in the earth-human language of that time, meant God. This is where the concept started. Now it is time for man to know the truth about himself and creation. Never can man put himself above creation, for he is a part of the creation. Most importantly, man must know that all living things are part of the same creation, and all are joined by the spiritual energy. They are made of and affect all others with spiritual energy created by thought. Thought is energy. Energy is thought. You must learn to think of these two forms of existence as the same thing. Spiritual growth is the forming of logical thinking that is harmonious with the laws of creation. When you have perceived something correctly with great clarity of thought and understood it to the point that it has become part of your life, this thought becomes part of your cognition of creation. You then contribute to your own spiritual growth by virtue of your understanding and usage. In order to grow spiritually, you must learn to take 100% responsibility for your own actions, thoughts and deeds. You cannot dump your responsibilities onto any other forms, gods, idols or cults, and expect to grow. No other life form, including gods, can grow for you. When you have learned to face your problems with your own energies, given to you through creation, and know that you are part of creation, you can draw on the spiritual energy within you, and achieve all that you can imagine. Most earth humans live in the delusion of misguided teachings. It is unfortunate that we are born with such great knowledge within us, and that it is ignored and suppressed by logical thinking. When the earth human learns of the great power and knowledge that is within the spiritual subconscious, he will begin to help people into the world, with the right kind of teaching and guidance, to allow a human to live life to its fullest and most rewarding potential. The path to spiritual growth is through the recognition of our role within creation. Most earth humans live in delusion, created by misguided teachings. It is unfortunate that, by illogical thinking, we ignore the great knowledge that we are born with. When the earth human learns of the great power and knowledge within his spiritual subconscious, he will begin to help people come into the world with the right kind of teaching and guidance, to allow a human to live a fruitful and happy life. In order for us to perceive how it is possible that we are a part of creation, we must first understand what creation is. In the Pleiadian worlds, if you were to attend one of their schools or read their books, you would find the following understanding of the concept of creation. A universe is a material thing created from an idea of creation, which is the spiritual energy that contains the intelligence and knowledge to make it. It is necessary for creation to make a universe as part of its process of evolution. Our universe is contained inside of a very large universe called the Absolutum by the Pleiadians. It is believed that we share this Absolutum along with 10 to the 49th power 10 with 49 zeros, number of other universes. Each one is separated by thick bands of spiritual energy called push belts. Each creation has a cycle of life which evolves continually. The current creation that we live in is believed to be on the cycle of life that will last 311 trillion 40 billion years. We presently are in the 47 trillionth year of that cycle. This has been established through the technology of the Pleiadians by benefit of their ability to travel in time to research the facts. The cycle of the material universe is to expand outward and then to contract back into itself. The current cycle of the creation will last 311 trillion, 40 billion years, and then it will sleep an equal amount of time. There is an original creation that helps create all other creations. Once a creation has finished its cycle, and has come back together in perfect harmony, it then creates the spiritual energy, thought, that becomes the next creation. First, the new creation is only a thought. It has reason and understanding. It reasons until it has cognition of its next step. Creation is already setting a pattern of spiritual growth through cognition. Creation then creates the space where the new creation will exist. Next, the Sahar, which is the expansion of the thought into a gigantic ball of spiritual energy, fills the area where the universe will evolve within this spiritual energy. Then the Sahar evolves to a point of evolution where it is possible to create the material belt within the universe where life will grow. There is a spiral pattern of energy which moves through creation where waves of time travel causes the animation of the material existence. This spiral causes the rotation of the galaxies, movement and pulsation. Creation then has to reason out how to develop its life forms, so it can continue its own spiritual growth. Flora is then created so there will be food. The fauna, the animal kingdom, is responsible for the evolution of the coarse matter of our bodies. Once the animal kingdom has evolved the coarse body material to a level of evolution that is high enough, it is possible for the spirits of human life to come into material body. Man then begins the material life cycles and evolves creation to perfection through the spiritual energies created by each spirit form's growth. Our Earth is presently 626 billion years old, dating back to the gas ball from which it evolved from. The average Earth human spirit form is 80 to 100 million years old. This dates from the first material lifetime. It is your choice to come into the spirit form as either man or woman based on the lessons you need to learn and the path of accumulated knowledge you have created. We do not evolve from the animal kingdom, but owe a debt of thanks to the animal kingdom for evolving the coarse matter for our bodies. We cannot exist in material form until the body matter is evolved high enough to be in balance with our spiritual energy. As man goes through as many material lives with creation, he will develop through 7 primary steps of evolution. The 7 steps of man. First step. The primary life. 1. Primary development of the intellect and the spirit. 2. Primary thinking of the intellect and the spirit. 3. Primary thinking of reason. 4. Primary exercise of the intellect and the spiritual force. 5. Primary reasonable actions. 6. Primary will-causing thinking and action. 7. Beginning of reasoning in life. Creatures on those levels are thought to be insane or idiots whose spirit and intellect is still not spiritually developed. A new spirit who, by learning and experience, first, has to form himself. Second step. Reason life. 1. Primary development of reason. 2. Effective realization of reason and its use. 3. Primary acknowledgement and cognition of higher influences. 4. Belief of higher influences without owning knowledge. 5. Belief of higher forces, superstition, fear of evil, veneration of good, etc. 6. primary recognition of the true reality, research and development of real knowledge, the first spiritual cognitions and their use, spiritual curing, telepathy, etc. 7. Primary development of knowledge and wisdom. The present position of the average Earth human being is within this category at around the 6th level. Third step. Intellect life. 1. High development of the intellect, high technology. Second, utilization of spiritual forces, primary creation of living forms. 2. Realization and exercise of knowledge, truth and wisdom, slow breakup of acceptances of belief. 3. First, utilization of knowledge and wisdom. 4. Acknowledgement and utilization of nature's laws, generation of hyper-technology, secondary creation of living forms. 5. Natural exercise of wisdom and knowledge, in cognition of spiritual forces. 6. Life of knowing, wisdom, truth and logic. 7. Primary cognition of true reality as real absolute. The present position of educated Earth human being, scientist, etc., would be around 3 on the scale. A few border and spiritual scientists would be at level 7. Fourth step. Real life. 1. Clear knowing about the true reality as real absolute. 2. Cognition of spiritual knowledge and spiritual wisdom. 3. Utilization of spiritual knowledge and spiritual wisdom. 4. Cognition of true reality of creation and her laws. 5. Living within creational laws, purification of the spirit and the intellect, cognition of the true obligation force of the spirit, complete breakdown of acceptance of belief. 6. Aimed and controlled utilization of spiritual forces. 7. First, ability to create living creatures. Billy is at level 5. Fifth step. Creational life. 1. Creating and controlling living forms. 2. Construction of machine apparatural livable creatures. 3. Spiritual development of forces for control of organic forms of life. 4. Will conditioned to master life and all of its sorts and forms. 5. Position of recognition, reminiscence of earlier lives, etc. 6. Kingdom of Wisdoms, Ishwish, IHWH. Next to the last, highest power and knowledge. 7. Cognition of spiritual peace, of universal love and creational harmony. The Pleiadians are in this area. Sixth step. Spiritual life. 1. Acknowledgement and realization of spiritual peace, universal love and creational harmony. 2. Living in pure spiritual forms. 3. Spiritual creations. 4. Disembodiment of spirit. 5. First spiritual existence. 6. Final spiritual existence. 7. Pass over into the creation. Seventh step. Creation's life. 1. Twilight sleep over 7 periods, eternities. 2. Awaking and beginning of creating in the creation as creation, during 7 periods or eternities. 3. Creating of living forms. 4. Creating of new spirit, improvement of creation. 5. Creating of spiritual greatness within the creation. 6. Improvement of creation in creation. 7. Reaching of highest improvement in the 7th period,